I used to think the black-eyed children were just old campfire smoke, one of those small town legends passed around to scare kids into coming home before dark. But the night I met them, I understood why people disappear in the northern states without leaving a single print in the snow. It was February, dead winter in Talkeetna, Alaska, and my job was simple. Stay in a remote research cabin, monitor snowpack data, and not die of boredom. The roads were closed that week, whiteout conditions, so it was just me, the cabin, and the kind of silence that makes you hear your own blood moving. Around 1:42 a.m., I woke up to 3 slow knocks on the front door. Not a frantic knock, not someone begging for help, just deliberate, measured, like whoever or whatever was out there knew I was awake. I pulled on a jacket, barely zipped it, and approached the door. The peephole was frosted from outside, but I could make out a small shape, maybe 4 feet tall, just standing there. I cracked the door open an inch. A voice floated through the gap, soft and weirdly formal. "Sir, may we come in?" We, not I. The cold air burned my throat. I pushed the door open a little more. 2 kids stood on the porch. 1 boy, 1 girl, maybe 10 years old, dressed wrong for winter. Thin hoodies, sneakers soaking in the snow, no gloves. The porch light flickered, and that's when I saw it. Their eyes. Black. Not dark brown, not in shadow. Black from lid to lid, like someone scooped out their eyes and filled the sockets with oil. I stepped back. "Where are your parents?" The girl tilted her head in a way no normal child moves. "We need warmth. Please let us in." I don't know why, but the way she said warmth made my chest tighten. It felt like permission was a door they couldn't open themselves, and they wanted me to turn the handle. The boy took a step forward. "We can't come in unless you say we can." My instincts screamed, "Run." I slammed the door and locked it, instantly. The knocks started again, harder, but still controlled, not angry, just patient. I killed the lights, grabbed the radio, and tried calling the ranger station. Static. No surprise. Storms kill everything out there. Then I heard them on the porch again. Not knocking, talking to each other. Except their voices didn't sound like children's voices anymore. Too calm, too cold, like reading a grocery list. I couldn't hear all of it, but one sentence came through the walls clear. "He's not ready yet." I backed away from the door and nearly tripped over my boots. Around 2:06 a.m., the cabin's temperature dropped so fast that the windows frosted solid from the inside. My breath turned white. The fire in the stove sputtered and died, like something sucked the heat right out of the room. Then the knocks changed. They weren't on the door anymore. They were on the walls, on the siding, on the glass. Soft at first, then sharper, then spreading around the cabin like hands dragging across every surface. Skrook, 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 like they were circling me. I grabbed my flashlight and aimed it at the front window. 2 silhouettes stood just beyond the frost, not moving, just watching. I checked the back window. Another silhouette, smaller, maybe a 3rd child. My stomach dropped. 3. There were 3 now. My flashlight flickered. My breath fogged out in a chattering cloud. The room felt like a freezer. Then all the knocking stopped. Everything went silent. For a full minute, I thought maybe they'd gone. But when I looked at the window again, one face was pressed against the glass. Pale, expressionless, mouth slightly open. Eyes, those endless black pits, staring right at me. And then she smiled. But the smile didn't reach her cheeks. It didn't move any muscles. It was just her mouth widening like skin stretching the wrong direction. The glass cracked. I stumbled backwards and grabbed the nearest thing, a metal poker from the fireplace. Not that it would help. Outside, the girl whispered, voice muffled through the glass. "We found him." And all 3 silhouettes walked away into the storm. Not ran, not drifted, walked, in sync, like puppets pulled by the same strings. The temperature slowly returned. The cabin warmed. The window thawed. But something was wrong. My ears were ringing. A pressure sat on my chest like I'd inhaled something toxic. And when I looked at the cracked window again, there were 3 long smears on the glass. Greasy, dark, finger streaks dragging downward. Except they were on the inside. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. I left Alaska 3 days after the storm. Didn't even wait for my contract to end. Packed what I could fit in a bag and took the first available flight out. I tried telling myself it was just exhaustion, just isolation, just cabin fever. But the truth stalked me quietly in airports, in rest stops, in motel hallways. It started with the feeling that someone was standing behind me whenever I was alone. Then came the small sounds, soft tapping in hotel vents, doors clicking at night, cold spots where no draft existed. But the real nightmare began when I reached Montana, staying the night in a roadside motel near Helena. Around 3:11 a.m., a knock jolted me awake. Just one, flat and confident. I froze. Not this again. Not here. Not hundreds of miles away. I shifted toward the peephole, slowly. The hallway was empty. I was about to step back when something moved at the very bottom of the door. A shadow, small, child-sized. It shifted left, then right, like someone was crawling on the floor, waiting for me to look. My breath caught in my throat. I whispered, "Please go away." The voice on the other side whispered back, "Let us in." Not a child's voice, something older, something pretending. I staggered back, grabbed my truck keys and made a decision. Run. Drive without stopping until the sun came up. I didn't even take my bag. I sprinted down the hallway, down the stairs, out the side exit. But halfway to the truck, I saw them. 2 kids standing under the motel sign. Boys this time. Both wearing dark hoodies and jeans. Modern clothes, but wrong on them somehow. The older one was tall and thin. The younger one stood slightly behind him, staring at the ground. I froze in the parking lot. The older boy lifted his head. His eyes shined black in the street light. "You left the others," he said. "They sent us." I fumbled my keys. He took one step toward me. The air around me thinned, like the atmosphere itself was being pulled away. Hearing dimmed, vision tunneled. I felt my body tilt, like gravity was changing directions. The younger boy finally looked up. His eyes weren't just black. They were reflective, like voids showing a deeper void underneath. Both of them spoke in sync. "We only need you to say yes." I stumbled backward, nearly tripping over my own feet, and threw myself into the truck. My hands shook so hard I dropped the key twice before slamming it into the ignition. As the engine roared, they both stood perfectly still, not chasing me, not yelling, just staring, like they knew I couldn't outrun them forever. I peeled out of the parking lot, gravel spraying, and didn't stop until sunrise. 1 month later, Texas. I moved again, south, far south, near Austin, hoping warmer weather would help me sleep at night. It didn't, because 3 nights ago, I heard a knock at my new house. One single knock. I froze in bed, my chest tightening. It was 2:15 a.m. I walked to the peephole. Nothing outside. Not a kid. Not a car. Not a shadow. But on my doorstep, a folded piece of paper. My hands shook as I picked it up. Inside, written in perfect handwriting, "We're almost in." And below that, 3 small fingerprints, black, greasy, child-sized. I moved again yesterday, but I don't think it matters anymore, because tonight, at 2:13 a.m., I woke up to something new. Not a knock, not whispers, not tapping, but breathing, inside the house, inside my bedroom, slow, cold, patient. I'm typing this from the bedroom closet, door locked, lights off, breath held. They're here. And this time, they're not asking to come in. They already are.